Black Tuesday, also known as the First Street Crash of 1929, the Great Crush, or the Stock Market Crash of 1929, began on October 24th, 1929, and was the biggest and the most powerful market crash in the history of the United States. Billions of dollars were lost, wiping out thousands of investors and buyers roared and screamed. Some collapsed onto the ground when they got bad news about the stock price. Crowds formed outside of the NYSE. The police were called to keep order. After Black Tuesday, the market prices had went up. Moreover, the market prices continued to drop as the United States slumped into the Great Depression, and later, the World War II kinda ended the Great Depression in the United States. Therefore, I am basically saying that the Black Tuesday is a cousin of the Great Depression. There are some popular dance performances inspired by Black Tuesday. The dancing helped the citizens who dealt with hard time of the Black Tuesday by finding a way to have fun with little to no cost. Now I will tell you what kind of dances were popular during that era. Before to tell you about some dances, let me briefly explain the awesome and popular competition, which is Dance Marathon. It's a competition where people are able to win prize money and escape from the reality during Black Tuesday. This one is Lindy Hop dance. It was started by the performer Charles Lindbergh. The dance owes its origins to black influence and is known as the granddaddy of swing. Furthermore, the swing era is the evolved dance form of Lindy Hop in 1936 to 1937. This picture shows few steps of Latin American dance, and it was popular in 1920 to 1930, which was during Black Tuesday. There were many Latin American dancers during that period. This one is a Carolina shake. It was danced to beach music, and it was mainly danced in dance competitions that were popular in the 1930s. It was also known as a man's dance because the men would do all the turns and fancy footwork. This one is the Big Apple dance, and this dance sprang from Colombia. The dance began in the black community but was soon picked up by whites and became widespread. It consists of dead step and it was performed in a circle and called out by a leader.
I don't want you, but I hate to lose you.
Prohibition was a period in the United States from the 1920s to 1933 where a strict ban was placed on the production, importation, transportation, and sale of alcohol. However, this ban did not stop underground nightclubs from opening and selling alcohol to its guests. Crime began to flourish with gangs such as Al Capone, who profited from the illegal alcohol market. Clubs, such as the Cotton Club, were hotspot locations for many dancers to present themselves. Dancers such as Clayton Bates performed, and guests would smuggle alcohol into the clubs. The Charleston swing originated in these underground clubs and would be performed by swinging of arms and kicking of feet. A completely new and liberating way of moving the body and a way to express the pleasures of a new war-free life, performed originally and famously by dancer Josephine Baker. The Prohibition created a secret world where people could express themselves in an artistic way. The Charleston is only one aspect of how the Prohibition helped create new forms of dance and music inspired by African movement and African culture, first performed in African American communities and then brought to the Harlem stage in 1922. A new culture began, forcing society to drink in secret and African Americans to popularize dance within the communities and inspire rebellion for people to express themselves. Dances like the Charleston swing were first seen as outrageous as the movement exhibited were flamboyant and too dramatic for the traditional older generation. Short skirts, short hair, warm makeup, and even smoking became an alluring trend.
During the Great Drought in the 1930s, which is also known as the Dirty Thirties, many Southern Americans had to move out of their homes for almost a decade. There were severe dust storms that greatly damaged the ecology and agriculture of the U.S. The drought came in three tides, in 1934, 1936, and 1939 through 1940. But some areas experienced drought conditions for as many as 8 years. Many crops were damaged, which had people leaving because there were no crops to live on. The people of Texas and Oklahoma were devastated and left to California for work. Some Oklahomans were known as the Okies. They were very poor migrants who went to California to search for jobs. They lost everything but brought traditional country music and dances to California. These Southern Americans inspired a large number of country dance halls as far as Los Angeles. These dances include two-step, waltz, cowboy, and the 10-step polka, which usually is danced with couples or with a group of people. This dance influenced many Westerns. They would dance on ranches and barns and even in the white space under the stars. Slowly, this dance that was specifically Western began to evolve and influence many people around the world.
The Great Drought began in the early 1930s. It worsened the poor economic conditions that the people were currently in due to the Great Depression. This affected farmers highly, and they were forced to seek out government assistance. Many of them ended up receiving federal emergency relief. Many were not able to maintain operation and had to leave their lands to find jobs elsewhere. Having to give their land to creditors, some got foreclosures from banks. Business failures increased while profits decreased, and even the number of bank foreclosures was the greatest during 1931. Although the times were hard, people still had to keep their minds occupied and distracted some days. Due to this, movies and musicals became popular and helped the people forget their troubles. Government programs helped the individuals performing in these arts, and it resulted in the production of plays and artworks for the societies to enjoy. During this time, Humphrey's Wideman Company was a success. During the Great Depression, they toured America with a new style and works based on current events rather than old ones. Humphrey's Participants of Federal Dance project was created by Frank D. Roosevelt in order to financially support the dance and dancers, keeping their mind away from the economic downfalls that were going on during this time.
In finance, Black Monday refers to Monday, October 19, 1987, when stock markets all over the world crashed, losing a huge value in a very short amount of time. Many attribute the market's crash to program trading. This type of trading involves computers performing rapid stock executions based on external factors. After the crash, many blamed this for blindly continuously selling stocks as the market fell, exacerbating the decline. During this time in the dancing world, many trend-setting pioneers were emerging. One of the most notable began in the evolution in the pop world, and who brought new dance moves to the world was Michael Jackson, otherwise known today as the King of Pop. One of his most notable moves that we still attribute to him today was the moonwalk, originally termed the backslide. This move involves sliding backwards in a smooth manner along a seemingly frictionless ground. Another move that he can be coined for starting was the circle slide, which combined the moonwalk with heel and toe pivots in place. Not only did he set trend-setting moves, but his style of music was the most notable of his time. Another artist who brought new forms of music and created the first rap group, the Holy Ghost Boys, was MC Hammer. Coming from a poor family in a rough neighborhood, he immersed himself in music. His signature dance, known as the Hammer Dance, is his signature prance. This dance involves jumping and crossing your legs in a shuffle-like motion back and forth. Today he's considered a forefather of pop rap, incorporating elements of freestyle music with flashy dance movements and choreography.
The dot-com crash, also known as dot-com bubble, was a historic economic bubble and period of excessive rumors that happened from 1997 to 2001. It was a period of time where business owners and consumers started using internet more daily and adapted faster. During this period, many internet-based companies, commonly referred to as dot-coms, were founded, but many of which failed. The collapse of the bubble took place during 1999 to 2001. Some companies, such as Pets.com and Webvan, failed completely. Others, such as Cisco, whose stock declined by 86%, lost a large portion of their market capitalization but remained stable and profitable. Some, such as eBay and Amazon.com, later recovered and even surpassed their dot-com bubble stock price peaks. As a result of the rapidly increasing usage of the internet, many investors were eager to invest in a company that had one of the internet related prefixes or a .com suffix in its name at any valuation, leading to a stock market bubble. Dance Magazine is a monthly dance publication covering modern dance and ballet, as well as other forms of dance, including jazz, primarily in the United States. The magazine was first published in 1927 and has continued monthly to the present day. Richard Philp was the editor in chief of Dance Magazine from 1989 to 1999. His career began at Dance Magazine as the managing editor. When he was brought to the magazine under William Camo's tutelage in 1969, Camo was the editor in chief of Dance Magazine after Lydia Joel's editorship, beginning in 1967 and continuing through the years until his death in 1989. When Camo died in 1989, Philp was appointed editor in chief. He held that position for 11 years. In 1999, under a new publisher and an office moved to the San Francisco area, his role was changed to executive editor. In this role, he continued to write his monthly kickoff column until